What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Chicken Bone Alley, brought to you by Profab Headers and Exhaust, Earl Ramey Racing Engines, SRI Performance, Stock Car Steel and Aluminum, and RK Motorsports Consulting. What is up, guys? I am David, and I am with a guest in-house today. This is like you're the first one in-house.
First one? Right.
First one in-house. Cool. Just FYI. My brother from another mother that I've known about forever, Chad Webster. Man, what's going on?
What's happening, man? Just coming to hang out and have a good time.
Well, we're going to do that. We're going to do that. We are live on Facebook. Again, guys, hopefully I got it all working right again. Last week I had some issues, apparently.
Technical difficulties.
That's part of it, I think. It bees that way sometimes. So, but anyway, so we're live. But, man, appreciate you coming out here and hanging out with me today.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, been listening to all your podcasts anyway, and it feels good to be here and enjoy what's going on.
There ain't much going on. Ain't much going on.
Well, we raced several laps beforehand, so you know.
Yeah, there we go.
I don't know who's leading right now, but
I've had Chad back here looking at the car. He's the man now on the race car. That's what we'll say.
I don't know about all that.
He's
a blind squirrel can find an acorn every now and then.
I guess so. I don't know. But no, I had him looking over the race car back here and checking us out, see if we got a halfway decent piece. So what you think about it? You think I'm gonna be all right? You think I'll be in the ballpark somewhere?
I don't see why not. It looks just as good as anything that's running up front now.
Well, I don't know about that.
Oh yeah.
Well, cool. I hope it's all right. Well, Chad, I want to give you a second here, man. Kind of, if anybody out there don't know you, know who you are, introduce yourself. Tell them what you're doing and what you've been doing, all that good stuff.
Well, like I said, I'm Chad Webster Racing and Fabrication. We do a little setup work here and there, a little fabricating, and me and my buddy Greg Peterson, he's up in Concord, and we kind of share information and ideas and all that type of thing and work together. He's in racing country, so he gets access to a lot more than what we do down here in the country.
Yeah, I'd say so. He's got it going on. But Chad, you just heard Chad talking about Greg Peterson, and he won the Challenger race there at Dillon Motor Speedway at the New Year's Bash in Chad's car.
Oh yeah, we had a pretty good hot rod, and like I said, I've won the Bash driving. I've won the Bash with other drivers. I've won the Bash crew chiefing, so we've kind of tried to cover the whole spectrum. The Bash is kind of special to us because of the Winkler family. Yeah. They do that kind of like a Jackson Winkler Memorial, and
yeah,
we kind of take that one personal. We work really hard to go try to show our best there.
Well, that's good. That's awesome. Speaking of the Bash, though, all right, I want to veer off the Challenger side of it real quick. Let's talk about street style stuff. I touched on it a little while ago. You know very well, probably more than a lot of the rest of us, what it costs to run these cars and all that. And I know that is a prestigious race, I guess we'll say.
Okay, we'll give it
that. we'll give it that. And I will say, and I said this on here last week, I'm not knocking the track by no means. I'm not knocking Ron by no means, because I think he does a great job promoting that race, because obviously everybody wants to win it.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
Why are they driving like that out there and tearing up everything?
The only thing I could figure out is it was a full moon.
It was.
Well, Bashes in the past have had carnage as well, but I don't think I've ever seen one quite as bad as it was this year. It was a little different. I don't know if everybody was just in a different state of mind or what, but it was crazy. I don't see the point in tearing up race cars to that extent. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've tore up my fair share like anybody else, but most time there's reasons behind that.
Well, I want to go into you. I mean, I'll get to that in a minute. But man, it was I don't know. It was a little much. I thought.
Yeah, it was a little overkill. For sure.
I heard. I saw something. I didn't get to watch the race, unfortunately. I went back and looked at all the highlights and everything. I didn't get to exactly watch the race, but I was watching, everything that come across Facebook on it because I was up in North Carolina and all kind of stuff, and we were doing all kind of junk that weekend. But I think somebody finally pointed out the only car that was not involved in any caution in a wreck was Sonny Chofin. I think he finished second place.
I think that's about right. And Sonny's a friend of mine, and he's one heck of a wheelman.
Oh, yeah.
And he's smooth, and he's going to usually run pretty good without beating on somebody if he can do it. Now, don't get me wrong, I think he had a couple of wrinkled fenders and stuff from the race.
Oh, yeah.
But I think that was bad placement of
Was
everything going on around
I
him.
think say, was there good placement? I don't think there was any good placement out there. It was crazy.
But I think Sonny had a real good chance of winning that race.
He did.
He just I talked to him after the race in Tech there, and he said they just went a little too far on the adjustments and got the car a little too tight for him, and he felt like he had a piece that could have done it if he wouldn't have over adjusted.
Well, that's cool. Well, all right, moving from that, and I figured, I asked some questions to you because I've known you forever. And let everybody know, me and Chad have literally known each other, God.
Forever.
All
the way back to the beginning of the go-kart days.
Yeah, we raced go-karts together for many, 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 many years. We went on vacations together. I mean, we did everything together for a long, long time. We still hang out. We
Never a dull moment.
No, we always have fun. But so I can ask those questions that not many other people may ask. So I'm going to ask. You had a video. Well, you didn't put it out. Somebody else put it out. And you've had a few, actually, that have gone somewhat viral, we'll say, across the interwebs. But there was a fun one this year. This was the most unique one that I think I've seen yet. If you haven't seen it, I might even repost it. We'll find it. But the hood throw.
Oh, yeah. I've heard plenty about that. Us racers, we don't have our proudest moments when we're ill.
it was so funny because I think we raced right before it in the legend car for your race, so I wasn't up front watching this race. Normally, I'd come around to your trailer a lot of times this past year, and that way if something went on, I was there. If y'all need, you got plenty of guys over there, but if there was any helping hand I could lend, I'm always try to be over there. But anyway, I think our race finished before y'all's. Y'all were right after us. So I was back at my trailer. Well, I saw you leading the race, and we were kind of gathering stuff up or whatever. And by the time I seen caution come out and they come around, you wasn't there. So I was like, well, crap, something done happened to Chad. Well, it wasn't but a minute or two later, all of a sudden, I just hear the stands just, ooh. I was like, well, I didn't even know it. I still didn't know it. I finally got over there to you, Pip. By the time you got in there, asked what happened, you told him, the guy basically had your wheels lifted up, whatever. I mean, bad stuff. But it was the next day, all of a sudden, I see a video come around. Chad threw his hood at the guy.
Well, that's one of those times I wish I'd had something heavier, but that was what was in hand, so... Everybody talk about, well, why didn't you throw your helmet?
No, that's expensive.
That costs too much, man. That's my safety equipment. We keep the helmet and the Hans and all that stuff close by.
Exactly.
The hood, we got an extra one of those at the shop.
That's what I'm talking about.
Well, if nothing else, I always try to help Ron sell tickets. If I can do my part to put them in the stands, I try.
If you can't win races, sell T-shirts. That's what
right.
I say.
That's right.
So we got to get some T-shirts going, apparently.
You got to have a video on YouTube every now and then or something.
I love it. I mean...
It's good advertisement.
You've had a couple on there going on with some people back in the... Pause in a second because somebody said we had something happen to video. Let me see if it's still going on. Let's see. Do. And while we're pausing, I may go turn this heat off. Hello. Y'all let me know if we're still live on Facebook. Make sure y'all can hear us. I can hear me. Okay. I'm going to pause 1 second and turn this heat off because it done got warm in here. See, this is the fun part, Chad.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. But Chad, you've had some some moments, we'll say. Some moments. And
Probably not some of my prouder moments.
Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And the reason I bring that up, I mean, there was a video a few years ago of a fight on the front stretch at Dillon.
Yeah, that was several
Years back.
For some reason, it keeps popping up yearly.
It does.
Like.
It's really funny because, like, all of a sudden I see it, I'm like, hey, there's Chad.
Yep.
But the reason I say this, and I can attest to this. There's been times like even we were at the go-kart track back in the day. Probably one of the biggest fights I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
At Ainer.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
And I was in the middle of it.
Yes, you were.
Or on top of it or something. I don't know.
Flying through it, whatever.
Yeah. Chad just said he looks up and I'm just popping somebody in the nose out of there. So, I mean, it happens. Probably not my proudest moment either, but whatever. But the reason I bring that up is, to me, yes, I mean, you're not one to just, I say that, but you are not one. That all that stuff happens very few and far between. Very far between.
Right.
But the reason I bring that up is, to me, that just shows a passion
Exactly.
for what you're doing.
You take pride in what you do. And, you know, we don't have the big budgets that some teams have. We don't have these big money people behind us. We take every dollar that we rake and scrape and we put this program together and we make it work. We started it with just, you know, me and my dad just to give us something to do together. And it's just kind of evolved from there.
And he talks about his dad there. His dad, Pee Wee, is a man. He was a name back in racing back in the day. He like Dillon Motorsport, where we're racing now. That was completely different track back in the day, and
The old dirt track
days. And he was one of them that was the man around there. He made it happen.
All of it.
Yeah, for sure. So well, that's cool. That's cool. Well, tell us a little bit about your racing program though. What y'all running over there? What kind of?
Well, like I said, I got my Challenger/Charger car that I run when I can.
What kind of car is that?
It's probably one of the oldest cars at the racetrack. It's the old '98 model Childers. That's what we've been running.
Nice.
Me and Greg have updated it and cut on it and done some grinding and welding and this and that, and it's starting to get like we want it.
We'll start calling it Frankenstein for too long.
It's pretty close. It's pretty close. There's not many straight parts left on it,
Hey.
but you know the old car works good. I always favor it over anything else I've had. And then I got my buddy Ethan and Robin Winkler that's racing out of the shop now. That he ended up winning the championship in Charger this year in Dillon, and we I done all the setup work and stuff for them. And his brother's gonna start racing this coming up year. And
Nice.
Connor Lee and Jamie Lee, they've come on board with us this year, and we've been helping them the last half of the season and kind of tried to help turn their program around a little bit and get some wins for them from Mr. Shelby.
For sure. And just to let y'all know a little ahead of time, I talked to him the other night. I think Connor's going to be sitting in that seat next Monday.
Cool deal. Cool deal. That's good people, man.
For sure.
If there was more people in racing like those, it'd be a lot better.
That is the reason, and I'm not throwing anybody under the bus, so please don't take it that way. And I'm not downing anybody, but we used to park over on the back stretch at Dillon.
Right.
I mean, that's just where we were. There was a lot of legend cars back there. But we, towards the last half of the year, started parking up there with you guys and beside Connor and everything, just because, man, they are people, and I know there's a lot more in the pits like this, but y'all and them, and I mean, it's fun up there. Y'all work hard, we work hard. You know, when you got to get work done, you got to get work done. But there's no I in it.
That's right.
I don't care. Me and Connor running against each other in legend car didn't matter. It was, we come in, as soon as we came in, man, what's going on with your car? What you need on it? What, I mean, you know.
We're like a big family.
Exactly.
You know,
big dysfunctional one, but.
Most of us need to wear our helmets on more of a regular basis, but
Exactly.
you know, it's okay. But like I said, we're just a big family. We go up, and we always pick, me and the Winkler family, we go to cook and eat, and if we get time, we race.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much how it is.
Yeah.
'Cause, you know, we're fat people. We like to eat.
There's always food there.
Always.
I found that out. That's one reason I started parking up there.
Don't have to go far to get it.
Exactly. I didn't have to walk as far. Oh, cool. All right.
But I'm blessed, man. I'm surrounded by a lot of really good people right now into racing, and it's fun again. It got to where, you know, for a little while, it gets, when you get burned out and stuff, it gets where it's not fun.
Oh, yeah.
But when you get yourself surrounded by the right people and you enjoy going to the shop and tinkering on the things you tinker on, it's fun again.
And I think, this is going way back, but I think me and you, I know I did, and I think you probably did too. It got to me like that in go-karts.
Oh, yeah. It got like a job.
Yeah.
Back in the go-kart days when we had the kart shop and we were building motors and all that, the fun left.
Yeah.
Because there was so much stress, because you always were stressed on trying to make the customers look good.
Yeah.
And I do that now, because anybody stuff that I work on, whether it's Ethan's or Connor's or whoever, I tell them, I have no secrets from them.
Yeah.
Whatever they need, they get. And see them run good. If they outrun me, I done my job.
Exactly. Well,
And Connor has done a good job outrunning us.
he's stepped up.
He has. He turned the wick up on that thing.
And I'm gonna tell you something. What was really funny about that, and me and Connor talked about this even, and I think we talked about it on. Well, I don't know if we talked about it on the show. I don't know if I've had him on since then. But anyway, we've talked about it many times. One of the last times I was at the track over there, and was able to run, I think I dropped a valve or something in my motor that night. But anyway, Connor sprung a bad oil leak in practice, like the first round of practice.
In the Charger car?
Yeah, in the Charger
Yep.
car. Yep.
They knocked a hole in the oil pan.
Well, that was this past weekend. Wasn't it? Or
No.
was he not? Is that what they found? What was wrong with it?
No, this past weekend was a rod. I think.
Oh, that was a rod. But that's what they found on it, was a hole in the oil pan?
Hole in the oil pan.
Okay.
Was the original oil leak.
I got you.
Not the catastrophic.
Yeah, not the catastrophic. I think it
Man's got a leak now.
Yeah, it's got a big leak now. But anyway, man, the first thing I saw when he pulled that car in, everybody just jumped in.
Oh, yeah.
Let's change the motor. It's race day. Let's change the motor. You gonna race tonight?
Jamie said, man, we'll just load up and go to the house. I said, well, you got another motor there. If you want to run, we'll be glad to help you. I said, whatever you decide, that's on you. But me and my guys, we're all here.
Well, and that's exactly what happened. And Chad, his guys, and I tried to throw a hand in there, but there was too many people. I couldn't even get in there. But
People out everywhere.
I'm telling you. But I think he still got out, got a few practice laps still, qualified the car, I think qualified second, and ran second that night.
Sure did.
And that's talent there, but that's a testament to just how everybody is over there, man.
Well, like I
it's
said,
fun.
man, we're a team.
Yeah.
You know, we're there to help each other, and if somebody's down, we're gonna be there to help them any way
right.
we can. If we got the extra part, something breaks, they got it. I have taken stuff off the car and give it to them, to different people. It doesn't matter.
Nah, sometimes you got to.
Whatever it takes.
Sometimes you got to. Well, good deal. Well, let's move up to. We're gonna get on the phone here in just a few minutes. Talk to Greg Peterson, like you was talking about. But I want to ask you. You know, you said you've won it as a driver, as a owner, as a crew chief, whatever. How's it different? I mean, does it seem more satisfying as one or the other? This time you won it as a owner / crew chief.
Honestly, the past 2 years is when they've recently started kind of giving it the Jackson Winkler Memorial type thing.
Yeah.
We won it with Ethan last year, and that was the first time for the Jackson Winkler, and that was really special because, like I said, it means a lot to them. And I told Ethan this year, I said, I've given the devil all week. I said, you're going to have to run second. I said, because I'm going for it this year. Well, I would have loved to have been driving it myself, but I've got back problems and stuff like that I've been going through. And I called Greg up, and like I said, me and Greg's real tight. I put him in the seat. Honestly, I think this one meant more to me than any of them. Greg's had a hard life with the bash. He's been to the bash and bashed the bash about every time.
He's got bashed most times.
Yeah, he's run the street stock 3 different occasions and had the car to win and ended up on the hook. So
Yeah.
to have him, I told him this time, I said, I'm going to try my best to give you something that's going to be competitive enough to win the race or at least be there in the hunt. And I felt like we'd outlast them. I honestly didn't think we had the car to beat most of the weekend.
Yeah.
But like I said, that goes back to the team. We just don't give up. We keep fighting.
What this past year, 2022, we were all at the track, and it seemed like, don't get me wrong, it seemed like you had a fast car a lot of times, but just had some trouble.
Well, like I said, 22 is. I've always considered that my lucky number for everything except for this year. I don't think it's really fell in place this year. Everything about this year has kind of been on the tail end of everything.
But we on 23 now, so
that's right. We're good now. We started it out right, so we're going to try to build from there. But 22 was rough. We had motor trouble. We bought a brand new motor, thought we were stepping up our game, and it was kind of a nightmare from beginning to end. We finally got it situated. Matter of fact, we bolted it in the day of the New Year's race, so that was fresh straight out the box again.
What kind of combination you going with now?
We're running the 70cc motor right now. I don't know if that's what we're going to stay with yet, depending on what rules change over the winter and stuff like that. But I've always liked the 70cc combination. I'm one of those people coming off go-karts. The RPMs kind of work good for me. The crate motors, I've won races with the crate motor, but I've always been a built motor guy.
Yeah.
But also, that's kind of what's been part of the 2022 season. The built motor's been a thorn in my side, and between that and the rear end problems.
Y'all obviously got the rear end figured out now?
Yeah, we went over to Tom Buzzy's, and he found some problems inside the locker, and he got us hooked up pretty good on that deal. He really turned it around for us on that.
Good. Well, I'm glad it's turned around here.
Yeah, but like I said, hopefully it keeps building from there. I think we still got some more speed we got to find.
Well, we got a 2023 season to do it. So, what you looking at for 2023? Kind of same deals you've been doing, or what you gonna do?
Well, I worked hard to run the full season last year, and I think I'm gonna step back a little bit this year and kind of help some of the customers some. I'm gonna try to spend a little time with Jamie and Connor and help them as much as I can, and I'm gonna try to take Ethan's brother Matt, and we're gonna go to the racetrack and do some tests. And he's never raced anything before, so
I got you.
So we're starting 100% from scratch, and Ethan actually totaled his car Friday practice at the bash, so we had to take Matt's car and put it together Friday night so Ethan could run it Saturday. And he ran pretty good with it, considering it really wasn't finished.
Oh, yeah. just there.
It was just theirs, but like I said, that made Matt feel better about, he knows he's got a car that's going to be fairly decent if we can get him comfortable in it.
Nice. Well, you're probably gonna have another one over here to to tinker on too.
Well, like I said, I like seeing all of ours up front. That makes me feel better about it.
Well, you know,
and it doesn't have to be me. That's the thing. I've got past the driving part of it. That part's fun and everything, but I'd rather work on them anymore. If
we can find a driver to sit behind the steering wheel over here, he might be all right. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, we'll have to get it suited up for you just right.
Oh, cool. Well, speaking of suiting up and all that good stuff, I guess let's go to the man that won the race here. Let's go talk to Greg Peterson. All right, now the fun part. They still see us on Facebook, but we're paused on the podcast. Y'all still got us good. I figure I'll say this on here. I don't know if y'all saw it, or you probably saw it. Michael Butler said, "Tell Chad to let me get that $150,000 car." Did you see that comment on Facebook?
Nah.
Somebody was saying something about Stacy finishing second. Said how great a job he did. He did a good job running second. I mean, he was fast car, but somebody said that he only got outrun by a $150,000 car.
Well, I'll sure take that for it.
Might even take half of that.
You ain't lying. I can promise you, if that's a $150,000 car, I'd hate to see some of them other ones.
Oh, fun.
Well, you know how it is. Anybody that doesn't win or whatever.
Well, it wasn't Stacy and him. It was just.
Oh, no. It don't. Stacy and them good people. They work hard for what they got, too.
Oh, yeah. I don't know who it was.
But, there's always somebody in the stands that can drive or can race or.
Oh, yeah. That's them armchair racers, as I call them. Let's see if we can get Greg on the phone. If I can hit the right button. If you need to answer that, go ahead. Nah. Oh. Greg, what's going on, buddy? I hear you about the same. Let me get this thing hooked up to our Bluetooth here. So we can both hear you. Maybe. It says connecting. Well, good old modern technology. Won't be aggravating. Hold on one second. There it is. There we go. Can you hear us? No. Oh, there we go. Can you hear me now?
I got you, bud.
There we go. You hear him, Chad?
Yeah, I got him. How about you, Greg?
Good, bud. How are you?
We were just talking about some of the bash at the bash.
Well, it never disappoints, right?
Cool. Well, we are live on Facebook, but we're about to hit the record button here on the podcast. And like everybody tells on here, we just have fun on here. So we'll get to rolling with it if you good with it, man.
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here he is on the phone, winner of the 2023 Jackson Winkler Memorial there at the Bash there. Mr. Greg Peterson, what's going on, man?
Man, I can't tell it. I guess we're still kind of living on a high, and I definitely appreciate y'all having me on this evening. Pretty cool weekend me and Chad had, that's for sure.
It definitely was, man. That's it was impressive. It was an impressive run y'all had there. Did the car owner over here live up to his side and at least bring you a good piece?
Absolutely, he did. It's funny. Me and Chad, we work our tails off on customers' cars, and we generally have some pretty good success. And it seems like the last few times he's put me in the seat that, I don't know, it's like just one thing after another happens to us, and we feel like maybe we neglect our own stuff sometimes, but a lot of times it's just circumstances, that's for sure. But I'll tell you, me and Chad, we talk every week and share info and help each other, and it was so good to finally get the success I feel like we both deserve, that it just, I don't know, it just felt like it was time, it was meant to be. But it didn't come easy. We did struggle a little bit at a test day, and we put our heads together and went down a different path, and obviously it paid off big.
It did for sure. Well, I wanted to go back real quick, man. Your name is a name that has gone through Cars Tour, big in late model stock, late models, Charger, Challenger, all this good stuff. I want to give a second for the people on here that are listening that don't know you. Give them a second for you to introduce yourself, basically, and tell them who you are, what you do, where you're from, all that good stuff. So if you'll go ahead and do that before we get too far into it, if you go ahead, sir.
All right, I appreciate it. Well, yeah, I've kind of been a racer at heart myself. Drove all the way up till I guess it was probably 2000 that I worked for Cup teams and tried to race on the weekends myself, and finally it just became too much of a financial burden for me to be able to race myself and be competitive. And I love the short track stuff, so I kind of ventured out on my own and started my own shop where I was taking care of guys, late models, and the start was a little rocky, and I bounced back and forth to some Cup teams, the contract labor, and did a contract labor stint with Ford Motor Company actually for developmental work in the 04 Ford truck, and got to learn a ton with that through Ray Stonkus. That was an awesome experience. But anyway, so long story short, just I was fortunate enough. I worked with Rossford. We won the RA championship together, and here recent. I worked on Zach Miracle's dad's stuff, Doc Miracle. We've been together for over 13 years, and obviously Zach's taken over pretty much the helm of that. But had a lot of success with Zach at Florence his rookie year in late model, and at Dillon his rookie year in limited late model. So yeah, like I say, we Peterson Racing has been a thing since about 2005, and I can't say it's the most lucrative thing I've ever done, but it's rewarding, and I get to do something I enjoy every day. And that's kind of a funny story. That's how me and Chad first got together and started doing business together, and then became very good friends. Obviously, I was running one of Ross Furr's oldest cars down at Dillon in late model, and we got on a roll there winning a bunch of races, and Chad said, well, I got tired of chasing that back bumper. I figured I'd come talk to you. So
that's how
mine and his history got started. And like I say, now it's not business with us. We're definitely very close friends now.
Well, that's
awesome. That's kind of the brief history. Yes, sir.
That's awesome, man. That is awesome.
Yeah, there's not many weeks go by that me and Greg don't talk 2 or 3 times at least, if not daily.
I got a feeling those are some long conversations a lot of times, aren't they?
They can be.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Especially when one of us gets to thinking outside of the box.
Ooh. I didn't know there was a box with y'all.
Oh, there is. Most time we knock the walls off it.
That's exactly right. Yes, sir.
Well, speaking of that, to both of you there, what and I know y'all have just been around this stuff long enough now. Your history in it there, Greg, and Chad coming in the the later 2000s, I guess, in the car. So what is it that you look for now? I know you can't give no secrets per se, but what is it that you're looking for now? When you're talking about thinking outside the box, when you're looking at these cars, it's like, what is the next step we can do to make it search for that next 10th?
Yeah,
Let's see who can answer first.
Yeah, I don't know. Chad, you want to make a stab at that? I got to think a second.
I don't know that there really is anything exactly this special to look for. It's just, you try to look for the stuff that maybe everybody else is overlooking.
I got you.
Because, with the local racing, it's not like your Cup racing or Grand National racing or anything. There's always that little, hey, let's make that wheel roll freer, or that bolt, in Greg's case, is a 1/2 inch too long. Cut it off. It's all about the
shaving weight. All right.
It's all about the little things, and that's one thing that I've learned, because I've learned a lot from my racing car years that I didn't know from go-karts. That's night and day different.
Oh yeah.
On so many different levels, but just since I met Greg and my buddy Scott that passed away years ago, the things that I've learned from them, that just, it's unreal, the attention to detail that Greg has on things that, he's kind of pushed on to me to start looking for, and things that's kind of massaged me into a way of looking for different little odd and end things. It's not necessarily big, but you know, you get all your little ducks in a row, then you really got something.
Oh yeah, I agree. What you think about that answer there, Greg?
Well, I tell you what, he pretty much nailed it, you know, and that's what's funny. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure Chad's had some of the same phone calls, but I've had past customers that, you know, I consider they're still friends, you know, and they called like, what did y'all hit on? What'd you find? What'd you do? And that's always the common thing. They always think you cheated something up. But the bottom line is, every time and Chad probably speak the same way, but every time I've tried to just blatantly cheat something, it doesn't work. And it
slowing you down.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like Chad said, you just pay attention to the little details, you know, because Chad knows how I am about, especially like Dillon or for any racetrack for that matter. But if we can keep forward driving a car all night and I can keep cutting that bottom and feeding off the bottom all four, it's going to be a good night. And any little thing we can do to just keep improving that, that's where you get success. If you start trying to think too far out there, like Chad said, we think outside the box every day. But if you get on a path that's just going to be like, it could either be catastrophic or excellent, it's probably not going to work.
That's right.
So,
and you talking about those phone conversations, there's been several of them where either Greg or myself would call one or the other and say, hey, what do you think about this? Oh, no, don't do that. You know, we both had those conversations.
Already tried that. It's not going to work.
Tried that. That won't work. But, you know, when you talk about all the secrets, though, honestly, the car that Greg won in the weekend, it's old. You know, Greg, I don't know if you heard, but that's a $150,000 car.
I did hear that. Funny how that stuff gets going, but yes.
But, you know, like I said, I'll take 150 for it. No problem. Sure.
might even give them a slight discount.
That's
you never know.
Yeah, but, they get it for 140.
But you know, we went back to you kind of go back to your notebook, and we went back to a setup that we had ran. We've been running what, Greg, past 2-3 years at Dillon now?
Pretty much. And just massaged it from there.
The basics still work.
Oh, yeah.
And still work really good.
Well, I figured that. I don't know if you know, Greg, but Chad texted me, I guess it was last week, probably was that Monday, Tuesday or something like that. You know, talking about getting on the show, and we need to get Greg on, we need to get you on, we need to get, you know, whatever. I said, but I'm gonna need some numbers off that car.
Right.
So honestly, that's one of the things we were talking about earlier too. That's talking about the arguments and stuff at the racetrack. You know, really and truthfully, we don't really have secrets.
No,
not really.
No.
You know, this stuff is so close anymore. There's really no secrets out there. But half of the battle is the head game that you play.
Exactly.
So
that's it.
You know, if you catch a man trying to look under the hood of your car and you slam the hood on him, you know, that's just not hiding anything.
Tell him it's going to cost him to look at it.
That's right. Tell him to dig out the $100 bills. You know, that's just proving a point.
Exactly.
To make them wonder.
And that's I will tell you, and I've always thought this, that has probably been one of my favorite parts about I know it's my dad's favorite part about racing.
Oh yeah.
Chad's been around my dad enough. He knows. We all know.
Him and Pee Wee's the same way when it comes to that.
Exactly. And I think it was just I think that's one of my favorite part is like letting somebody think that you have something. They don't know what it is, but you have something that you're not letting them know. And in the grand scheme, you really ain't got nothing.
No.
It's just
nothing at all.
Nothing. Yeah, I mean, you probably got. I mean, I hate to say it, but in all actuality, you probably got a half a percentage somewhere that they don't have. I mean, that's most time what it takes you from a mid-pack car to the front of the field.
Well, I tried to talk Greg, and since it was going to be cold the weekend of the bash, it ended up not being as cold as we expected. Yeah. We were going to put up the tent and put the walls around it, put the heater under it just to mess with them.
Yeah. I told Chad, I'm game. Let's do it. Because, I promise you put a bag or a blanket over something, you will drive them absolutely crazy. And You
And-
could
and
you could
90%
have
of the
nothing
time
but
they'll
a
work themselves
20-year-old
out of
shock. Yep.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. Well, speaking of the race though, and the cars that we're running, or y'all are running, that I will be running, I guess, the Challenger series, Charger type cars. Greg, what do you think about that class? I mean, it's you look at it to the average person, there's not much difference in a late model stock, I guess we'll say. Obviously, there's some differences. What do you think about this type of racing?
Well, honestly, it just kind of takes me back to, I guess, what you call our roots of racing, because of the fact that there really is no difference. I mean, your motor's choked back a little bit from a full-blown late model, and you can't run bump stops. And obviously, me and Chad, come up in racing without bump stops. So we found ways to make the cars work almost to the point as good as a bump stop car. So, I mean, the class is definitely elevated in the last couple of years, and it really was elevated. I feel like this race, just with Ron opening up for the new bodies and a couple motor combinations, that we had a really, really strong field of cars and quality cars.
Oh yeah.
So it definitely just kind of felt like how we raced, 5, 6, 7 years ago, as far as just, we had to, there again, think outside the box a little bit, because you can't run bump stops. So, okay, how do we get load? How do we get load and get this car to work, and light off fast on a restart? Because in all honesty, that's the only difference between a bump stop setup and a conventional setup is, you get that instant grip on a bump stop where you don't, so per se, on a conventional setup where you can't stop because you don't get that initial load.
That's right.
But it's that whole deal. Everybody's on the same program, so the one that does it the best is the one that succeeds.
Well, and I know this class runs scuff tires. On top of that, the tire situation being the way it's been this year, has that kind of thrown another curveball in there for you, Chad, for this year?
That's the biggest challenge, really, is tires week in and week out. Now, I'll give Ron credit. They've worked hard and they've backlogged tires where normally we get pretty decent tires. I mean, every now and then you're going to have a tire that's not as great,
Right.
but, for all purposes, he's done really good. Now, I've seen some stuff from different other places that didn't look quite as good. But, like I said, I feel pretty confident that Ron give us pretty good stuff this year. I don't know how 23 is going to play out, what he went through as far as his stock and his inventory and what we're actually going to be racing on in 23, but waiting on the rules to come out for all that. But
Yeah.
like I said, the scuff tire is what puts the challenge in it, because it's all about what that man does different to figure out how to make that thing work.
It's it's been a challenge for us in the legend car for sure. We didn't have none, and that was
Exactly.
and that's why that was one reason we looked at. I wanted to get a bigger. Well, I like the thought of a bigger car myself, and my dad was like, he's always been around big cars, and we were in the Legend this past year, and I loved it. I loved the class. I ran really good, especially over at Dillon. But we can't get tires. Literally zero. Where the set of tires that is on that car behind us right there is 3 years old, and we can't get any. I mean, yeah. So that was why I was like, look, I don't mind running junk as long as everybody else runs junk too.
And that's the bad thing about the tire game, though.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that I dislike about the tire game. Everybody's doesn't seem to be on the same playing field.
Yeah. Yeah.
You always get those few that can seem to figure out a way to have other things worked out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's always the game everywhere somehow. I don't know how that plays in there. It tends to come in there.
They magically appear.
Yeah,
that's
they
it.
magically
They
appear.
do.
With the right
do.
markings on them somehow.
That's for sure.
Oh.
That's for sure.
So, Greg, tell us a little bit about the race. Let's go back to the race just a little bit. Tell us about the race. How you ran the race. What start at the start of the race. How'd you feel? How'd you think the car felt? And then as the race progressed, because about halfway there in the race, you managed to get the lead and kind of went on from there. But tell us about how you felt in the race.
Well, I tell you, I mean, at the drop of the green flag, I mean, I knew, I just knew. I won enough races there. I just knew the thing had to feel. And I'll be honest with you, it took pretty much up to qualifying for me to get that feel. And in all honesty, I told Chad we the last practice run, we kind of try to like put some tape on and kind of like mock it in a way the best we could with what we have for tires. And, we run best lap we ran all weekend. And I told Chad, I said, I'll get you more. And he's like, okay. He didn't question it. And I knew what I was doing. I was just rusty, and I knew I was using too much brake, and I was doing stuff that I just know better. But I was just too rusty. And after qualifying, I felt like I did about all I could do, but we'd actually gotten the car a little too snug. So obviously me and Chad discussed it, and I told him, I'm like, we talked about what to do to free it up, and he made the changes. And I'm telling you, like I said, when they dropped the green flag and I was able to clear Meredith for second, and I just locked in on little Ricky's back bumper, and it kind of turned into a cat and a mouse. Like, okay, who's playing with who? I mean, I'm not gonna lie, you know what I mean? He's been very successful there, and obviously him and Chad's history is a little rocky, but that didn't carry over. But if I had to do what I had to do, I was going to do it. But in all honesty, it turned a little bit of that, like I said, a cat and mouse game, and then I start seeing him slip a little bit, and he started trying to choke me off the corner a little bit, and I'm like, okay, I said, I know what I still got left, and we are pretty good. So about lap 20, I knew, like, just as long as I do my job, they're going to have a bad night. And, kind of hate that, he broke, but we were able to pass him and clear him and start stretching out before he broke. So I felt like if he didn't break, I still feel like we could have come out on top, but, obviously we don't know that, but I felt that confident in the car. And then it just became, we finally had one long green run. Chad, I say long green flag run, maybe 18 laps.
Maybe.
And I think the last report Chad gave me, I was almost a straightaway out. And I'm like, I'm just, he's telling me just hit your mark, stay in your rhythm. And it was funny because, he was very calm, cool, collective on the radio, but he is just like me. When you're spotting somebody that's like your friend and it's your stuff, it's hard to be calm, cool, and collective, but he never wavered. And man, let's just stay green. Let's stay green. And then sure enough, at about 14 to go, we had caution after caution after caution. I'm like, I cannot give this thing away. I told myself I'll drive this thing into the fence before I give this race away.
Throttle hung, Jay. I don't know what happened.
Mm-hmm. You got that
right. No, knowing Chad, though, he was probably more nervous than you were up there.
I really was. That is the hardest job I believe I've ever had, is being the spotter of your own car with one of your good friends as the driver. I mean, that's a challenge.
Oh, I bet.
Because you automatically, instinct tells you don't put it in a bad place, but the competitive side says, he's clear enough.
That's yep. That's right.
Close enough. It's good enough. Well, Greg, what's the first of all, congratulations again on the win, man. That was an impressive job y'all put together there. And it was
yes, sir. I appreciate that. Thank you.
It was good work. Good work. So what's I know you're kind of up and down on it, but what you got? You got any plans for 23? What you gonna do?
Good Lord, yeah, I got I got a lot on my plate, but right now, I still obviously take care of Zach medical stuff, and we're getting ready for the icebreaker at Florence, and then. After the icebreaker, we definitely plan on running the first 3 or 4 Cars Tour races. He wants to run the full schedule, but last year was his rookie year in the Cars Tour, and right. We had growing pains, and it's financially it's a tough. I mean, well, it's a tough series all the way around. So
with that being said,
we're,
Greg, let everybody know Zach is looking for some funding. If anybody's willing to help or wants to help in the Cars Tour to get their name out there, he'll be willing to talk to anybody.
Absolutely, yes, yeah. I mean, I think they would like some marketing partners to help a little bit, because I mean the kid is a true talent, and that was another cool thing. I'll backtrack right quick. One time on the race that he obviously his dad Doc was racing, and we got to line up side by side on one restart. And Zach grabbed one of my guys' radios. He said, "All right, Greg, this is the showdown we all been waiting for." He said, "I can't say I'm rooting for you, but good luck." I'm like, and I know he was torn, he's like my protege, but it's his dad up there, you know what I mean? But, and then the last restart, he grabs the radio and says, "All right, Greg, don't choke." And I'm like, "Oh Lord, don't say that."
That's great.
But that's the kind of relationship with me and that young man have. I mean, he, like I say, he is, he's a good boy. He comes in here and works with us, with me, and he works on his race cars, helps on his race car. He helps me on other customers' cars. I mean, the kid wants it. So definitely, devoted to him this year. And then whatever Chad decides he wants to try to race a little bit, we'll try to get together, and maybe he'll let me drive his stuff again a couple times if we get time.
Yeah, like I told you, you ain't washed up yet. We'll still keep putting you in the seat.
Well, trust me, I needed the last weekend, because I was getting a wonder, Chad.
I told you that was what that weekend was all about, man. That made it more special than anything.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, I agree.
And I was sitting there looking at the rundown at one point in the race between myself and Greg, cars that we work on. We had about the top 6 or 7 covered.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Between Greg and my car, Ethan Winkler, Connor Lee.
Yeah.
Then Stacy Matthews with Greg, and Dot Miracle with Greg. I mean, there was.
Yep.
Speaking of Connor, though, real quick, you talking about one of them cautions? He created one of them for in a catastrophic way. He grenaded one down going into one there.
Yeah, he had a pretty good oil slick.
Yeah. I talked to him and Jamie at the awards banquet Saturday night, and he said that motor's destroyed. It was he said it slung it out of the rod, but it got all of it.
Yeah, Daddy said it had a pretty good hole in the side of the block when he looked at it. So.
Yeah.
There was a good bit of oil dry on the racetrack getting in turn 1 too.
Yeah, but he was running good. He was running good up until then.
Yeah, he was actually battling for second.
Yeah. So
like I said, Connor's he's like Zach, man. He's a good little wheel man. He's smooth on the wheel. He doesn't really put the car in a bad spot. I mean,
it's like I said,
good people.
It's like the last time he was on the show. It's like I said, his last name's Lee. He don't have another option.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Well, cool, man. Well, Greg, I sure appreciate you coming on with us tonight, man, and hanging out and talking wins, man. And who knows, we might do it again after you jump back in the car and get some more of them. Who knows?
Man, that would be awesome. Like I said again, I appreciate you having me on, and it's been a blast to relive the weekend, because I tell you, it's gonna stick with me for a long time. It was really special. I had my girlfriend come to her first race, the first one to watch me race, and I don't know, family, sister and brother-in-law, obviously my nephew Travis. He's there every time I'm going to race, and he helps us out on our tires and everything. So it was a special weekend. I don't know who needed it more, me or Chad, but either way, we got it done.
Yeah, like I said before, though, with us, even Greg, it's all a big family between me and my dad and my father-in-law, my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law. I mean, we got the whole family down there, and then the Winkler family, and Greg and his family, and Travis, the whole crowd. I mean, we all mesh together, and we do what has to be done.
And eat.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
I concur, Chad. I concur. And eat. Oh my God, the Winklers will hook you up. They will hook you up.
And it worked out that weekend too, because my dad's birthday was January the 1st. So he's a New Year's baby. My father-in-law's birthday was the day of the race.
Nice.
So that was his
Absolutely.
birthday present. He was tickled to death.
We just worked out all the way around,
So
didn't it?
it was just a good weekend. It was just in the cards. It had to work out.
There you go. There you
Yeah.
go.
Absolutely.
Well, cool, man. Like I said, I sure appreciate it. And like I said, can't wait to have you back on, buddy.
All right. I appreciate it.
And you are clear on there. We're still live on Facebook, but we're clear on the podcast here for a second. everybody,
All
on
right, sir.
everybody on Facebook get to see all the behind the scenes stuff over here and hear all the junk talking that we do about everybody else.
With the whole wreckage.
I love it. I love it.
Just
I'm glad Chad got to come up there and hang out with you. That's cool.
oh yeah, I'm glad he finally got to come over here.
I know, right?
Sit in our little shop over here.
It's been planned for how long?
Oh,
A while now.
Oh, forever. I kept telling him he gonna have to come get on the show. I'll do it. Finally got him over here.
Well,
Yeah.
I had to come over here and hang out and spend some time with him. David, he did DJ my wedding and everything, which
You know.
I'm gonna hold that against him because that didn't really work out. But that's how it
Well,
goes.
That ain't. Hey, we know that ain't his fault or your fault, Chad.
This is true.
Well, I will say real quick, like, and I'm just throwing this out there, and I hope nobody that I've done weddings for or am doing weddings for in the future is looking at it. The track record's not good.
So you're saying I was
Well,
behind
I'll
the
tell
eight
you
ball from
what.
the get go, huh?
I mean, I don't plan for it to be that way. I'm just saying.
Well, David, you're in a business. You know, it's about like going to Vegas and going on the crap tables anymore. I mean, hey, women, you know, and racers, ooh, it can be rough.
Yeah. We're already behind the 8 ball. If you
'cause
didn't know
racers
this
sure don't
already.
make it no better.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, mercy.
Well, 10-4, man. We sure appreciate it. Well, we're going to go finish this thing up, I reckon.
All right, guys. Well, y'all have a good night, and thank you again, and thank you, Chad, again, and
Yes,
everybody
sir.
have a good night.
You do the same, buddy.
All right.
Thank you, Greg.
Yes, sir. All right, buddy. Bye.
Bye. All right. There we go. I guess we'll get back into recording here for a few minutes. All right, here we go. Everybody, 3, 2, 1. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Greg Peterson coming off a win there at Dillon Motor Speedway at the New Year's Bash in the Challenger division, owned by, as you've heard enough, our buddy Chad Webster over here. Car owner / crew chief / spotter /
Yeah, I have all those hats. Some of them I don't like too much, but I have them.
It's a big sombrero now.
That's right. That's about right.
Oh, fun stuff. Well, fun. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as always, and you see it on the screen this week. I got little things rolling around here. I'd like to shout out our partners, as always. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, Earl Ramey Racing Engines. Ladies and gentlemen, if you need any type of engine work on your race car, if you need a motor, if you need whatever, I mean, I will say, arguably, Earl's one of the best in the business. Their crate motor program is one of the top in the country. Guys, is top of the line stuff. So go head over to Earl Ramey Racing Engines and pick you up some horsepower today from Earl Ramey Racing Engines. If you got time, get on that chassis dyno, put on all the bolt-ons you can get, all the pulleys you can get, and just see what
Not finding power.
exactly. Chad knows it. We was talking a little bit about some little stuff before the show. There's all kind of little stuff you can find power with, especially when you do it on that chassis dyno. I mean,
That's
that makes a world of difference. So y'all head over to Earl Ramey Racing Engines and pick yourself up some of that horsepower today. And one of them things that you can put on there to make it pick up some more horsepower. I mean, you always need more horsepower. Some of these good old Profab headers. Profab headers and exhaust, guys. Head over to Profab today. Chad was saying earlier he's got to got to give him a call over
I
there.
got to be making a phone call to Profab. It's time to do some updating.
There we go.
Those old 98 headers on that 98 race car is kind of getting thin.
Well, let me tell you something about Profab headers. It is their slogan, and it is 100% true. They are quality that wins. We did a tour. If you go back and look on our Facebook back in at the end of summer. Actually, it was the day of the Cars Tour race at North Wilkesboro. We did a tour up there of the Profab manufacturing facility, we will say. And I'm going to tell you what, that facility is second to none. I mean, the way that they go about everything in that shop is awesome.
Well, you can just look at their pieces of equipment they sell. I mean, it's nice. I mean, you don't get junk when you buy them. That's for sure.
No. So y'all head over to Profab Headers, talk to our buddy Andy over there. Tell him we sent you and get you some of that quality that wins. One place that sells them, SRI Performance. That's what's so cool is I talk about, SRI Performance on here, all the time. And I talk to racers and stuff, especially ones affiliated with SRI and all our affiliates here, Profab, Earl Raymond Racing Engines, SRI being one of them. Me and Chad were talking earlier. He just told me he went up to SRI not long ago buying some stuff from there.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, that's just, you're not sponsored by SRI.
Nope, but SRI's got anything a racer needs.
That's what I tell everybody.
Whether it's a racer on a budget or not. They got their used side. I bought a lot of stuff out of their used side that works really great.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I love that used parts department back there.
Man, they got good stuff. You just got to know what you're looking for.
Exactly. But that is the most stuff.
And organized.
Yeah.
Man, they've got everything. And it's all shelved and labeled. And like I said, if you can't find it there, you don't need it.
They don't make it.
That's right.
They don't make it if you can't find it there. But it's like what I like to call it is Walmart for race cars.
You're right. And all the staff there's really good people. They'll go out their way to try to help you.
I was hoping to have it tonight, but I got a message as soon as I left home good that my package was delivered. I had a box coming in from SRI. I needed some clutch parts. It was a part that they actually didn't stock, which is surprising. But my buddy up there, Eric Molyneux, I seen him, told him what I needed. He said, I got somebody on it. Next thing I knew, he said, I found it. I can get it coming for you. I said, perfect. That's type customer service that you deal with at SRI Performance. If it's just that oddball part that they don't have, I promise you they can still get it. So head over to SRI Performance. Head over to, if you're online looking, www.sriperformance.com. Find anything you want. Fill up that cart on the little, up in the corner where you got your little cart, where you click on it. Click. And when you go to the end, put in promo code CBONE, 10, the C is in chicken, BONE, 10. Get yourself 10% off at time of checkout. And I think you can attest, Chad, that stuff for race cars going to head up pretty quick.
Oh, yeah.
10%.
10%'s a lot at the end of the day.
Exactly. So y'all head over to SRI Performance. Same deal over at Stock Car Steel and Aluminum, guys. Sister company to SRI. Head over to Stock Car Steel and Aluminum. Get all, and Chad here, he could probably attest to, you're in the fabrication business too.
Oh, yeah.
And you know how important it is to have quality pieces, quality materials to use in that kind of industry.
There should be a delivery from Stock Car Steel coming to my shop this week. We got a rear clip to put on one, so
there you go. See, it's racers right here talking about it. It's what it need. That's what it got to have. And that just tells you what kind of quality products that they sell. So head over to Stock Car Steel and Aluminum, guys. Get all the materials that you need for building rear clips, whatever you need.
Unfortunately.
Hey, unfortunately, but fortunately, they got all the stuff you need.
That's right.
So when you do need it, it's there. So head over to Stock Car Steel and Aluminum, guys, and tell them we sent you. All right. Well, what much more asphalt racing going on? You ever watch any dirt racing much anymore? I know you used to, us on the go-karts was dirt racing. I know we used to leave every once in a while from dirt track. We'd head over to Lakeview and stuff like that.
I got a buddy of mine that runs dirt. I go help him every now and then. Yeah. I don't, where our schedule works, I don't get to really mess with it a whole lot anymore.
I got you.
I tinker on a few here and there.
Well, I don't know if you checked it out any, but they had the Wild West shootout this past week over at, I can't ever pronounce it, Vado Speedway. I think is the name of it. And out of 6 events, Longhorn Chassis won all 6 events. Jonathan Davenport won 3 of those.
Oh, wow. Well, I know the guy that built my engine, he actually does some of his dyno work and stuff in the old Longhorn chassis shop.
I got you.
So I've been in there where the
yeah.
Longhorns are built and everything.
Yeah.
Man, I'm telling you,
We were over there. I was over there a few months ago doing a podcast. Live
they
podcast.
have one heck of a facility.
It's awesome, ain't it?
Oh man, it is nice.
It's nice stuff, and that's, to me, it's not surprising
No.
that they go out there.
That's the reason
win
they
like
have
that.
the quality they do, because I mean they put out good stuff. They don't really have a choice, I guess.
Exactly. But I'm gonna tell you, if anybody hasn't seen the races that went on out there, go back and look them up wherever you got to do. I know they were all on Flow Racing, but go back and look them up. It was some of the best racing I watched in a long, long time. Kyle Larson's out there, Bobby Pierce, Jonathan Davenport. They were all just trading positions back and forth, just slide jobs.
One
after
thing about
slide
dirt
jobs.
racing, they put on a good show now.
Dude, it was
They really do.
there was no stretching out to anybody this time, but it was. I think I looked most nights the top 5 or 6 cars in it were Longhorns. So we talked with them at the Cars Racing Show there a couple weeks ago. Talked with the guys over at Longhorn, and like I said, I was over at their shop, and man, they were just tickled about some of the new guys coming on, but tickled about their old guys out there starting some, doing everything they're going to be doing this year. And man, they picked up right where they left off. It was big stuff for sure. It's impressive. It's impressive. I don't care what form of racing it is. When you see a manufacturer, I guess when we're in a little deeper, we look at a little more chassis stuff than some people do.
Right.
So, to some extent anyway. But when a manufacturer can go out there and just put on that kind of show, that's
Well, asphalt racing is a little bit different, but you'll see the same thing. You'll see like your Forest Reynolds chassis or your Hedgecock chassis and your PRWs and stuff like that up front. And usually them will be about your top 3 most of the time.
yeah.
You're starting to get a few newer ones in there now, but just like with the dirt stuff, you got your Longhorn just getting to the top of the hill again now.
Big time. They're big time right now. A little piece of news come out. Nothing really major, but Sunshine Nationals coming up at Volusia, on the dirt side. I just thought it was kind of cool. We've had him on the show here a couple times. Scott Bloomquist. I don't remember the last time, in many years, he's run anything other than a Bloomquist chassis or whatever chassis. He keeps changed name a few times. But anyway, he is going to be running for Big Frog Motorsports at the Sunshine Nationals. He said because just his cars isn't done, but he's going to be running in a rocket. So, kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So, I just thought it was kind of cool. I was like, hey, he don't care. He don't care. He just wants to race.
That's right.
I think he wants to race. He should. Nah, he's still a racer. He's still putting it up. So I was just surprised he's gonna jump in a rocket. He don't normally jump in anything other than his own stuff. So, but anyway, well, Chad, what's the schedule? I mean, I know you said you're gonna scale back a little bit this year, but have you looked at anything? You just gonna run like some bigger races, or you just gonna pick and choose, just random weekends, or what you
I think I'm just gonna pick and choose kind of here and there, just depending on how everything plays out at the shop with everybody else. If we got time I can concentrate on mine and know that I'm going to be able to go to the racetrack and it be right without having all the issues that we did this year. Sure, we'll race, but otherwise, I'm kind of concentrate on the customer stuff and keep them as happy as I can.
There you go. Well, speaking of customers, though, man, if I know you got your hands full right now, but if anybody else looking for any work done on their car, what's the best way to get in touch with you over there, man?
They can give me a call on my cell at 843-845-0628. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, pretty much any of them. I'm there.
We gotta set you up a Chad Webster race cars set up over there and get it rolling.
There you go.
We might look into that. Well, cool, man. Cool. All right, well, you got anything else?
I think that's pretty well covered it all.
You had fun?
Bash at the bash.
The bash at the bash. Have you had fun at least?
Had a blast, man. Had a blast.
I like to have fun, man. I like to have fun doing this. I don't like to make it. It's like I told Greg. I said, "Don't worry, we're not too professional. I promise."
Professional. What's that?
I don't know. I don't know what professional is. Anybody online got any questions while I'm sitting here? Y'all got any questions for Chad or anybody? While that's coming up, what you got? What let everybody know. Well, what's your day job, man?
I work at Micro Precision over in Florence on Jody Road. There doing CNC machine work.
Cool. How long you've been doing that? A long time now.
I've been there going on 12 years. Works good for making race car parts.
Oh, I know. I know. I found out. I appreciate it. I appreciate it over there.
Get where you can do a little bit of anything.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. Well, cool. Well, man, I sure appreciate you coming to hang out with me.
Yes, sir. Had a blast.
We'll have
Nate
to do it
Sterling
again.
couldn't be here.
He's on vacation. I didn't even mention that. He went on a little vacation. They went to the mountains. They should be on the way back. Maybe I'm not sure. So, but he should be coming back. But I appreciate you filling in for him in the meantime.
Oh yeah.
And being our first Chicken Bone Alley's first, other than us going on location somewhere. You're our first city-in guest.
There you go. And that's the presidents that started for lots of new ones coming on.
I don't know if you should feel good about it or bad. It's one of them.
Well, there's one thing about
I went to everybody else. You had to come to me. Is that a good or bad thing?
Well, it's not bad. But just, since I'm the first one, it can only get better for me. It can only get better.
Well, I think, like I said earlier, guys, I think we'll have Connor Lee sitting in the seat next
See,
week.
it's already getting better, man.
I'm gonna tell you what.
The younger blood.
Yeah,
blood.
I'm gonna tell you what. Now, my mom even mentioned something to me the other night. He's been on the podcast there a couple times and talked to him quite a few. He's just one of my buddies. I mean, I like Connor a lot. He's one of them that I've said this on here. I've said this to him many times. He's one. If I can't win the race, I'm pulling for him to win the race.
For sure.
He's just that guy.
His parents done an amazing job raising him because he is one of the most respectful young men you'll ever meet.
Yes, he is. And he is, when I've had him on the show and we go anywhere and my wife, spoke with him and my mom has, and they don't know him like we do, obviously. But they're like, he is so well spoken. We were at the awards banquet at Florence Motor Speedway the other night. And his speech, I felt like up there, I'm like, I talk terribly in front of people. I don't know how I get on here and do it. I can sing in front of anybody, do anything like that. I don't like talking in front of people. I
understand.
And you realize here, I don't go by script. So if I was trying to read something off, that would go horrible. That would be terrible. So I don't even try that.
How many?
Exactly. So I just wing it all the time. I wing it on here every week. That don't work for. We tried notes there for a while, and sometimes I felt like I was just going through notes. But Connor, get back on him. See, this is what happens when you don't do that.
Right.
You go on another tangent. But my mom was like, he is very well spoken. I was like, yes, he is. She was like, how old is he? I was like, not as old as you think.
Well, I can tell you one thing. He'll sure make you feel old.
Oh, I promise you.
Yes, sir. No, sir.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not quite that old.
I don't feel like I'm that old. No, what was bad is the other night, running this Legends class the other night, and or being at the awards, I managed to get fourth place at Florence Motor Speedway in the points over there, which was kind of surprising. But I was the next youngest person or next oldest person in the top 5 there was less than half my age.
Oh, well. Yeah, we're getting old, David.
We're getting very old. I think Jaden Boland or either Lizzie. Both of them are 16 years old.
Mm.
I'm 36, Chad.
Oh, is this where I'm supposed to say how old I'm at?
No, you don't have to.
I'm 42, David, so I understand.
I remember the weekend you turned 21. I'm just saying.
Good weekend. If I remember correctly.
Well, we were at I think we were down at Hilton Head.
Yep.
I think we were.
Yep.
We just rode around everywhere. Rode around clubs that I couldn't get into.
Yep, pretty much.
Can he come in? No. Dang. All right. Go back to the hotel.
The hotel was the place that had it happening anyway.
Exactly. Oh, fun stuff. Fun stuff. All right, guys. Well, we sure appreciate y'all listening in with us this weekend or this week. As always, like to thank our partners on here. SRI Performance, Stock Car Steel and Aluminum, Earl Ramey Racing Engines, Profab Headers and Exhaust, RK Motorsports Consulting. Also, MPM, guys, McAllister Precision Marketing. Guys, if you are a young man coming up in the sport, your goal is to make it as high as you can in the divisions, I guess we'll say, and make it to even NASCAR or dirt side. Who cares? I mean, top divisions. You got to get hooked up with a good marketing team, and there's no better marketing team out there than MPM Marketing. Head over there, talk with Tanya. She's one of the best in the business. So y'all head over there and talk with Tanya. She's on top of the social media game. She's on top of every game. She'll get you in front of every sponsor that you need to be in front of, every team that you need to be in front of. Put your face there in front of them. So head over to marketwithmpm.com. Get with MPM Marketing today. But also all the rest of our affiliates and partners there. We appreciate all y'all. Chad, who you got to thank on all your racing?
Well, like I said, I got to thank Greg for all the help and all the knowledge that comes from his way. But Home and Industrial, Electrical Supply in Dillon, and Chris's Garage in Roland, North Carolina. You know, I tried to keep all my business as local as possible. Same thing with everybody out there. You know, if you want to go see some racing, go check out your local short track.
Exactly.
I mean, racing's a dying breed, and we really need to pump it up.
Exactly. So as soon as these racing seasons get started back up, which some of them don't quit anymore,
Yeah.
I don't feel like we have much of a downtime.
Not anymore.
So y'all head over. As soon as your racetrack local to you or closest to you anyway starts up, y'all head over there to your racetrack and send us some pictures of it. We'll put them up of all this fun racing that's going on. But anyway, guys, we sure appreciate y'all hanging out with us this week, and I guess I will be back to talk with y'all next time. And we are clear, other than Facebook here and YouTube, all that fun stuff. All righty. Well, I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. That's fun.
All right, guys. We are heading away. There's the camera. I always want to look over here where the computer is. Computer's over here.
Thank y'all
Camera's
for
here.
joining in.
We appreciate it. And be talking with y'all next time. Later.